That story tonight at 10. A Farmington couple arrested after allegations of keeping a 15-year-old locked in a chicken coop for months.
Farmington, New Mexico, a small, seemingly peaceful town, is shattered by a story that would forever change the lives of everyone involved. It all begins with a 15-year-old girl named Georgia Jackson, who bravely speaks out after months of unimaginable cruelty and neglect. Diagnosed with autism, ADHD, and fetal alcohol syndrome, Georgia has always struggled to communicate her feelings. But her courage in speaking up reveals a deep and horrifying truth. She has been locked away, isolated, and abused by her father, Jimmy Jackson, and his girlfriend, Patricia Madrid. Georgia's harrowing tale begins when she confides in her aunt, Kathy, on September 16, 2024. Kathy is shocked and devastated when Georgia tells her she has been confined to a chicken coop for months. This revelation is more than just a cry for help. It is a glimpse into the unimaginable suffering Georgia has endured at the hands of the very people who were supposed to protect her. For Kathy, the news is a crushing blow. She never suspected that her niece, whom she loved dearly, had been living in such horrific conditions. Desperation sets in as Kathy contacts Child Protective Services, CPS. The following day, CPS reports the case to the Farmington Police Department, and Detective Monlova is tasked with investigating the claims. As the investigation unfolds, the detectives prepare to face a situation they never anticipated. What they don't know yet is that this case will tear apart not just a family, but an entire community. On September 17th, 2024, Detective Monlova and his team arrived at the Jackson Madrid household with a search warrant in hand. As they knock on the door, they meet Patricia, who is noticeably anxious. The officers quickly sense that Patricia is hiding something. Her attempts to secure the dogs, ostensibly as a safety precaution, strike the officers as strange and evasive. Something is wrong. Patricia's behavior raises immediate suspicion, and the officers continue their search. Patricia's actions, including her failure to properly secure the dogs and the way she tries to stall the officers, set off alarm bells. Despite her protests, the officers push forward. They open the door to the house, and one of Patricia's dogs bolts outside, confirming their suspicions. As they enter the house, they quickly realize they're being distracted. With the house now in their hands, the officers begin a detailed search. They find no sign of Jamie. They find no sign of Georgia. Only empty rooms, filled with the silent remnants of a family in crisis. The officers continue their search, but as time passes, they begin to suspect that they are being misled. They find nothing. Meanwhile, Patricia's health seems to be worsening. She complains of sharp stomach pains, and the officers decide to call in paramedics to evaluate her. But their focus remains on finding the truth. Something is amiss, and they can feel it in their bones. As paramedics evaluate Patricia outside, Detective Monlova's instincts tell him that Jamie is somewhere inside the house, hiding, evading the truth. A few tense moments later, an officer spots him peeking out from a window. Jaime is discovered and arrested for resisting the officers. Patricia and Jaime are taken to the police station for questioning. As the investigation continues, officers return to the house to continue searching for evidence. They stumble upon a chicken coop in the backyard, Georgia's prison. The coop, which Georgia described in vivid detail, is locked with a chain and padlock. This is the place where Georgia had been forced to spend hours alone every day, isolated from the rest of the family. The officers photograph the coop and examine it for evidence. They find traces of dirt and human waste, confirming Georgia's story. The investigation quickly takes a dark turn. Georgia's descriptions of the abuse are horrifying. She recounts how she was denied basic human rights, food, bathroom access, and a safe place to sleep. She tells investigators that she was only allowed to eat scraps while her siblings enjoyed full meals. Her bathroom access was strictly controlled, with the couple allowing her to use the restroom only twice a day.
She was allegedly only allowed to use the restroom twice a day and was barely fed.
She had to get permission to shower. When she was allowed inside the house, it was only to sleep on a cold, cracked tile floor, a place of humiliation rather than comfort. The detectives' worst fears are realized as they begin to uncover more evidence that corroborates Georgia's statements. Locked in a chicken coop, unable to escape, Georgia suffered in silence, her cries unheard by the world outside. The emotional toll of these discoveries is felt deeply by everyone involved in the investigation. Detective Monlova, who has seen his fair share of cases, is shaken to his core. This is not just a case of neglect, it is a calculated, deliberate attempt to break a young girl's spirit. As the investigation deepens, Patricia and Jamie's denials begin to unravel. Despite their insistence that Georgia is lying, the mounting evidence tells a different story. The detectives find text messages exchanged between Patricia and Jamie that reveal a chilling pattern of control and manipulation. In one text, Patricia suggests they build a cage for Georgia because she can't be trusted. In another, Patricia complains about Georgia's bathroom schedule, further validating the girl's claims. The couple's attempts to shift the blame onto Georgia become increasingly desperate, but the truth is undeniable. While Patricia and Jaime face interrogation, the detectives examine the rest of the house, searching for any further evidence of the abuse. It is during this search that they uncover more disturbing items. A pair of orange and black earmuffs and a blindfold, which Georgia described in great detail, are found in the house. These were the tools of punishment, used to deprive Georgia of her senses, to break her down psychologically. The detectives are horrified by the cruelty displayed in these items. Meanwhile, the community is left to grapple with the aftermath of these revelations. Georgia's suffering, once hidden behind closed doors, is now laid bare for all to see. The town of Farmington is shocked, and a wave of public outrage sweeps through the community. Many are horrified by the thought that such abuse could happen in their own backyard, by people who were once trusted members of the community. Rumors begin to spread like wildfire, and social media explodes with commentary about the case. As the public's anger grows, Patricia and Jaime are arrested and charged with multiple counts of child abuse. But the case takes a dark turn when, on February 18th, 2025, just months after the arrests, Patricia is shot and killed in her own driveway. Giselle, Patricia's daughter, makes a frantic 911 call, revealing that her mother has been shot. The police rush to the scene, only to find Patricia in critical condition, a victim of a brutal attack. Giselle's voice, filled with panic and fear, echoes in the background of the call. Her distress is palpable, and it's clear that the emotional toll of the case is taking its toll on her as well. The investigation into Patricia's murder quickly turns into a high-stakes pursuit of justice. The police focus their efforts on Patricia's ex-husband, Mark Sandoval, who had been vocal about his frustration with the child abuse case. The community begins to question Mark's involvement, with some even speculating that he may have been motivated by anger over his ex-wife's arrest. Surveillance footage shows a man who matches Mark's description near the scene of the shooting, and further investigation reveals that a bicycle seen in the footage belongs to Mark. As the investigation continues, the focus shifts to Mark's home, where police find troubling evidence linking him to the crime. Firearms, case files, and other items are discovered that suggest Mark's involvement in the murder. However, investigators soon uncover an even more shocking twist. Mark's brother, Matthew Sandoval, emerges as the true perpetrator of the crime. Surveillance footage shows Matthew purchasing items, including a handgun and a gas can, which were later found discarded at a nearby dump site. Matthew's arrest sends shockwaves through the community as it becomes clear that the truth of Patricia's murder lies in a web of family tension, anger, and a desire for vengeance. The emotional toll of this case is felt by everyone. Detective Monlova, who has seen countless crimes, is now faced with the full weight of his investigation. Georgia's suffering has triggered a chain of events that no one could have foreseen. In the aftermath, the town of Farmington is forever changed. The truth about Georgia's abuse is finally revealed, and the community is left to pick up the pieces. Public outrage grows as people realize the extent of the suffering Georgia endured. But amidst the tragedy, there is hope. Georgia's maternal grandmother is granted temporary guardianship, and a court hearing will decide if it will be permanent. While Patricia and Jaime face justice for their roles in the abuse, and Mark and Matthew's involvement in the murder is uncovered, the emotional scars left on Georgia and her family will never truly heal. The case has taken a toll on everyone, from the detectives who investigated the case to the community members who followed it closely. But through the pain, a new chapter begins for Georgia, as she embarks on her journey to recovery, supported by those who still care for her.